is session 5 of God With Us, and today I'm going back in history, back into the Old Testament, to about 700s BC. Ahaz was the king of Judah, and the king of the northern kingdom, Israel, and the king of Aram had joined together and were going to attack Judah. And the people heard about this, and they were very afraid. So again, Ahaz spoke to the prophet Isaiah, and Isaiah said this: "It won't happen." But he did warn him and said, "If you do not stand firm in your faith, you will not stand at all." And then God spoke to Ahaz and said, "Ask for a sign." And Ahaz refused. Isaiah was cross with him and said, "How can you possibly try the patience of God? Well, God's going to give you a sign anyway." And this is it: "The virgin will conceive and give birth to a son, and will call him Emmanuel," which means God with us. Because he's saying Ahaz would see the proof that God was in charge, because by the time that boy was weaned, the two nations who were trying to come and destroy him would themselves be laid waste. But instead of listening to God, Ahaz chose to seek help from Egypt. And because of his disobedience, because he was relying on human answers, the Assyrian army came in and they devastated Judah. Now, the Assyrians had already scattered large numbers of people from the northern kingdom into other countries, and now they came and they scattered the people of Judah. Assyria was eventually taken over by Babylon, and that's where you got the final deportation of people from Jerusalem to Babylon and all different parts of their empire. So Ahaz's disobedience had opened up a way for the people to be overrun by other nations. It was the Persian Empire that came next, and they did actually allow some of the exiles to start returning to Jerusalem. And after them came the Greeks, and then Rome. Now, we may ask, where was God in all this? Doesn't seem like it. Doesn't seem like he was really looking after the people. Yet we know about the wonderful way in which he brought exiles back to Jerusalem and began to restore Jerusalem. But what was he doing in preparation for the coming of Jesus? Isaiah had given Ahaz a sign for the present time, but this is a sign that was also looking forward to Jesus when he would come into the world, God with us. When Assyria and Babylon scattered people through their empire, those people built synagogues so they could worship wherever they were. And so right across the area there were these little scattered synagogues. When the Greeks came under Alexander the Great, they established the Greek culture across the whole region, but more importantly, the Greek language became the common language. And then came Rome. And Rome, of course, built roads so their armies could move quickly, and they made a sort of a peace. It was a military peace, but trade was able to happen easily because people could move from country to country. Communication was much easier. And they had controlled the whole area from Turkey, southern Europe, and right around into North Africa. This was not accidental, because when the first Christians came to spread the good news, they could pass easily all through southern Europe and all through northern Africa. They used the Roman roads and the Roman peace. They had a common language that they could communicate in. Greek was the common language. And they had a place to start in every city because there was a synagogue. And that's where they would go to start telling the message of Jesus. God had prepared everything for the Christian message to spread across the known land. God is in everything. It may not be the way we want things to be, but God always works for the best in our lives. He is God with us.